CVD pops in with first, but Dan Does Junk has the highest rating. Good morning, Dan. Hello, and welcome to my Discord-only live stream. Today, the plan was to say as much as I could. Today, the plan was to catch up on weathering the other pack, something that took a little bit of time during the last live stream, so we wouldn't spend time again on the next everybody live stream trying to get that portion done. I had a pencil fall and hit me. It's a pencil from CrockerCon. Oh, that's why that's tilted. Wanted to get some weathering done, and also wanted to work on getting the Alice packs mounted to a motherboard. Yesterday, oh wow, I didn't prep any of that. Yesterday, I got up late. Yesterday, I worked a bit outside with the laser, getting 2 more motherboards cut out for both the packs. Because the last time we talked, everyone said, "Don't drill the tubes, don't cut into the packs in any way. Just mount it to the Alice packs." And then I asked Louis Causey, who's been super helpful with a number of things during this entire build. So, okay, great. How do you guys mount it? You talk about making these 3D printed parts. And he sent me the files and said, these things are ridiculously easy. You can probably just cut them out. And he was right. They're literally blocks. There was nothing technical about that 3D printed piece. And it had minimal distance from the pack. When the 3D printed thing was done, the Alice pack was practically right up against the motherboard. So it's like, okay, I've had all this, you need space between it and everything else, and then, okay, screw it. So at this point, I'm at screw it. No, that's not quite it. I was going to go ahead and let go of having a huge, wow, brain blanking, a huge air gap between the Alice pack frame, our back, and the Proton Packs. It's going to end up being about 3/8 of an inch, not very big at all, but there is a slight gap there, so whatever, fine. And the other thing that Felicia got excited about, because I got to talk to her a little bit, with doing the packs, is like, how do we want to do this? How do we want to combine the 2 of them? She really liked the idea of adding in a hinge, so the whole pack, while being worn, can just be opened up and swing open, and then you can do what you need to do with a helper inside the pack, and then you can just swing it shut again. And so I don't have the hinges on me today, so that's something that'll definitely be happening next week, which is a bit more interesting anyway. But that's the direction we're gonna go. So the best part is double checking. Good, it says unlisted. Yes. So this is Discord members only. The only place this URL has been posted has been Discord and probably Patreon, which I'm okay with that because Patreon is 100% invited to this as well. But let me duplicate the screen, and I can move the duplicated YouTube stream. No, I can't, because that is not, it's not seeing this other, it's not seeing the other, fine. Close this one up. Did I just double close it? Well, I'm still running. I just double closed my my windows. Studio, ding ding ding. Welcome to the chat. Oh, thank you. Can we pop out chat? I want to have live chat, and I want to pop out chat. But popping out the chat means I got to put it back on the live chat again. Does it eat the mushroom? Don't eat the mushroom. What's going on with the mushroom, Shady? Top chat, live chat. Hello, good evening, all. Steve D. So, yeah, what's going to be cool is I only expect there to be about a dozen, or so people during this entire live stream, and that's it. So, the ability to have more conversations is cool. Yeah, so, or more, not necessarily conversations, but texting. The only way I could conceivably be able to talk back and forth with you guys, in my mind, is use basically voice chat in Discord, or run this entire thing through like a Zoom meeting. but I don't know how to get that recorded to YouTube live as well with the equipment that I've currently got. So it's going to end up being more like live streams typically are. Let's see. Today Alice meets her mother. Yes, this is exactly what's going to go on. Alice is going to meet her mother. Good evening, Steve D. Hello to Schultz Division. Hello to Shady. Good morning to Shock Gremlin. Isn't that great? As we work our way across the world, we got good morning from Shock Gremlin. We got hello from Shady and Schultz Division, who are in still the beginning portion of their day and the end portion of the day. And we got a good evening from Steve D, who's probably watching the sunset at this point. Marvel Guy is here. Hello, Marvel Guy. And don't eat the mushroom. Not a problem. Promise I'm not going to eat the mushroom. I wouldn't fit inside the building if I ate the mushroom. What am I doing? What do I want to do first? Okay, so last week we got the Alice Pack frames painted. And then yesterday, and I did take pictures of it and I posted a couple of the Discord, and Felicia even came by and shot like a little video. I don't have it set up to show you guys exactly, but suffice to say that once again I used the laser death machine, the laser cutter. Adaptable Gamers Incorporated loves saying laser death machine, which is great. So that's just what we're not calling it anymore. Probably should make a little label for it, laser death machine. Although I bet AdamSack would not be happy with that. And cut out 2 more motherboards. Now these are actually a little bit thicker. These are nearly 1/4 of an inch thick plywood, as opposed to the first motherboards I had cut out that were about 1/8 of an inch thick, and that's all that they were. The idea, I was going to do that because of what I had, that I managed to find this piece of wood. So using some recycled wood that Shock Gremlin and I've managed to find at a throwaway pile. So I just want to mount this here, and then this edge is effectively straight enough we can put a hinge on it. One's gonna have to stick out from the other, or we're gonna have to like alter, or something's gonna have to happen in order for this to work, which is okay, and that'll be part of what's happening next week. Like, we can put the hinge in, but I might have to actually shave this guy down because this isn't perfectly flat. This edge, you can probably see it. It bows out slightly and then comes back in. So it would have to be pretty straight from point to point, or maybe the pack just doesn't have to open up. I'm always in the thought it has to open like a refrigerator perfectly straight, but it doesn't. It can open up like that. That'd be all right. So yeah, maybe that's all we have to do. Okay. But the question that I had for myself that I hadn't looked through yet was, how does the motherboard fit onto the pack compared to the Alice pack? All those things good going together, right? So just hang that there. If we're like this, yeah, we still gotta finish plugging in the whatever. Yeah, we gotta order some bitty boomers. All right. Yeah, so it goes like that. That's great. And then, okay, good. So the sticker goes on this side, which is something else I can do. Find the sticker, put the sticker on. Okay. I only wanted, like I said, I only want to do one today. I want to make sure that I've got one for next week. Blue tape. This side goes to the pack. Now as I flip the other piece around until I finally figure it out, hopefully I can remember where it's supposed to go. So this side goes to the pack. I think I need spring clamps too. There we are. lamps on this side? Yeah, barely. I can get one in here. I think it matters a whole lot. Oh, that's crushing the foam. Never mind. Okay. So what I want to know, what I'm kind of trying to look at and think about here. We gotta go ahead. Correct, Shady. I wanted to get the voice chat to work. Correct, Shady and Marvel Guy. I wanted to get the voice chat to work. I wanted to be able to have like two-way vocal conversations. It would be like having another co-host here. But everything I did to make it so whatever was being said in Discord was being picked up by my camera gear so it could be sent out to YouTube had a conflict. Either I couldn't hear it, or the biggest concern I have is the massive delay. As I'm saying this, it takes 10-20 seconds for it to get encoded and sent out to you guys, and then you finally hear it. And then it takes 10 or 20 seconds, well, no, it doesn't take that long. You guys are pretty much instantaneous. The chat's pretty instantaneous. So there's a delay between what I'm saying right now and what you're actually seeing. You are seeing it live. There's no interruption or no, it's not pre-recorded. But due to the act of encoding, and then even worse, wherever anyone is in the world and what type of switches and whatnot goes through, it's not like broadcast TV where there's one big antenna, there's one big tower somewhere nearby that's sending out a signal at the same basic rate, nearly the speed of light, so everybody effectively sees it at the same time. Right, obviously, like ripples in the pond, your television's signal takes a moment to get from where it originates all the way to the shore, but it's happening at such a speed, it may as well be instantaneous to us humans. With the internet, and with it being able to be worldwide, it's running through multiple switches and multiple different places that are boosting the signal, are helping to re-encode the signal, are sending it through the transatlantic wire network, those underwater wires that the sharks like to bite. Those. And so all the telecommunication of the live stream has to go through those in order to get to another continent, to the other side of the world. Because it isn't all necessarily bounced off space. If it is, the delay is even more. But pretty much what we're doing is all going to be terrestrial based. We joke, Felicia and I like to joke about it bouncing off space, but it's not. So, live chat, a voice chat within Discord is going to be weird delayed for you guys. If you were watching and listening to voice chat at the same time, you would hear the delay. I mean, I could turn it on just on my phone as an experiment, and what's being recorded to YouTube will not hear it. But we could see what the delay is, right? But yeah, because of some of those issues, the delay is the big one. As far as watching it on YouTube. And I was trying to see if there was a video chat. I thought Discord had a video chat channel, and they don't. They don't have an open video chat channel anymore. I think they did. I think we had one set up a long time ago. But that is now only direct video messages between people. And that may have been what it was all along, and I forgot. So if we were to set up two direct messages between, a direct message connection between me and a few other users, because I don't believe it's limited to just one-on-one, then it could be like a video voice chat over Discord. But still, the issue for me is I've got one computer that is encoding and sending it out to YouTube. I've got one connection with the switcher that I'm using for encoding, and I'm not sure how I can get the two to talk to each other. Yeah, that's really the best way I can put it. So anyway, I dropped it. In the sense of being easy, I dropped it. Maybe it's something I can figure out in the future, but this time, yeah. You're going to have to listen to me talk to you, and I'm going to have to look at chat and see what's going on.
Mariah Woods is here. Hola, mate. Hello, Mariah. Oh, Ace is here? Sweet. Hello, Ace. I'll come up with signage as well. All right. Dan Does Junk says, I'm a bit bummed with not being able to get my new suit done for this coming SAC anime, but this year is the 30th anniversary Gundam Wing, so bringing the desk site would be more appropriate. Yeah, I'll come up with signage as well. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool. Hello there. Hello, Ace. Hello, Will Connors. Sweet. Could you do a Microsoft Teams call, record it, and upload later? Possible, Steve. Thought about it. Like, I actually toyed with the idea of could I do like a Teams thing. Yeah, it's something I could try in the future. I don't want to tech support my way through this. The idea of just running through Teams also occurred to me, so that is possible. But anyway, so Mariah, I was talking about how much you enjoyed calling it a laser death machine. Here's the new motherboard piece. It's not actually attached. I've just got it put on with some spring clamps at the moment. But by doing that, we no longer have holes in the back of the Proton Pack. And what I want to do, well, I want to talk to you guys, but what I want to do is how, I have to pull up the images again. Oh, please don't break. Well, that's not too bad. I thought it was going to be resting on all the small wires. It's not. It's resting on the tube at the bottom, the really big split loom tube, and then the grain tower. So that's okay. It's not resting on any of the really delicate stuff. Oh, that's good. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong side. What I remember from last week was the Alice pack ended up laying. It lies! Pretty much in line with the top of the hot and cold piping here in the back. Right? Does that sound right to everyone else? I should pull up my own picture. So it wants to be about there, right? Is that right? That seems right. What is centered? I think centered is... I'm going to go with the center line of the Alice pack frame to the center point of the round of the cyclotron, because that feels right to me. This stuff is asymmetrical, so let's let it be very asymmetrical. It's weird actually being worried about how this thing connects. Greetings, Odin from Wales. Oh, Craig is here. Hello, Craig. Yeah, Dan does. Just give us all your phone number. Do a group call and play us all through a Bluetooth speaker. Right? Have I ever thought about getting new 3D printers? No. At the moment, I'm very happy with the ones I got. But if anybody says, hey, Odin, do you want to do a sponsorship deal? Yeah, sure, I'll take more 3D printers. Yeah, because speaking of free 3D printers, like Shopgrim was talking about, the Mars 5 Ultra from Elegoo had a spilling issue. It's interesting that, so the Mars 5 has a really cool rocking feature. This is a resin printer. And so as your resin vat moves, as you got your resin vat you pour your resin into, and then you got your build plate that moves up and down out of the build plate, and you start, exposing light from underneath because it's a fluid, right? And you build up your thing upside down on top of the build plate. So the build plate's raising up, and as you're doing that, you have your tube of stuff, not pouring, but this is the sprint object that's just rising up out of the vat. I picked it up and moved it and had forgotten that I'd left resin in the vat. I actually do that a lot, so I should always assume it's got resin in it. And so I tilted it, and resin poured out the side.
and ran down inside the machine. That's bad because it can hit the light and cause problems. It's extra bad on the Mars 5 from Elegoo, because one of the features it has is the vat itself has a rocking motion to help separate the print from the print bed. So as the print bed lifts up, on the bottom of the vat, it's got a really thin piece of plastic. It's like kind of like a thick Ziploc bag type of material, only stiffer and a bit more robust. Because that's the separator between the screen that's exposing the light and all the liquid in the vat that's light sensitive, that sets up and becomes solid when exposed to light. Most 3D printers, it just picks straight up. And what you're doing is you're tugging against the tension of the FEP. That's what's called an FEP sheet. Frank Echo. God, what was P? Has it been that long? It's Foxtrot Echo. It's not Peter. Wow. Anyway, I'll remember it as soon as I give up. So you have the tension of the FAP, and then it has to peel off, right? So there's like a pop sound you can hear. If you're hearing that pop sound, then it's working, and the build plate is winning the tug of war, and your print is succeeding. By making the vat rock as it lifts up, it's creating a spot that's easier to peel from, and it actually gives you less failures, and it works really well. Prusa created a resin printer that started doing this. That was the first one that I saw that was having this rocking motion. So now Elegoo did one, and because of that rocking motion, there's a motor right in front of the housing, right underneath where the vat is, that has a little cog that makes it move back and forth, and has a limit switch, so it knows that I moved far enough, now go back. So it just does that. It doesn't do a full rotation. It just rotates a little and goes back, and rotates a little and goes back. And the resin Elegoo resin spilled out of the Elegoo vat down into the Elegoo machine, and dissolved the plastic housing of that sensor, because it's just an IR sensor, right? You've got an IR emitter and an IR receiver, and as a little piece of metal goes between it, goes, oh, I got blocked, and then it sends a signal to, right? Basic limit switch. And that limit switch got destroyed. The housing dissolved when I tried to clean it. It literally just crumbled like a cookie or a cake. It just crumbled right apart. And then the board itself ended up shorting once because Elegoo then insists we got to plug things in and test things. Like, dude, it's not working. Just send us a limit switch. So put it back in without the housing. Now it shorts out against the metal that's on the bottom of the unit, and so yeah, it can't run until we get this limit switch fixed. At this point, because Elegoo is following their customer service protocol, they're following their script that we have to follow, even though it's like, I just need this limit switch and it'll work and it'll be fine. We have to now disassemble the identical limit switch that is up on top that prevents the build plate from going too high, right? So it's got a little thing up there. It is an identical part. I have to put that down below, so just to make sure that things light up and that's what the problem is. It's like, guys, this is what the problem is. The boards are lighting up fine. It's the only piece of the startup sequence that's failing. This is the problem. Anyway, we've been at that point because of basic frustration. Been at that point for a couple of weeks now, where stuff hasn't progressed because fuck these guys. But at the same time, they sent me a machine and wanted a review for it, and I didn't really review it. So all right, sure, I guess we have to go and do that. But I got an email this last week from Lyche Slicer. What I got actually was a follow-up email from Lyche Slicer this last week. That's kind of cool. They actually emailed me a few weeks ago. Lyche Slicer I've talked about for years. It is a third-party slicing software that was originally developed for resin printing. They have asked about having a couple of sponsored videos because Lyche Slicer has now incorporated a model library. I don't know what it is. I can't imagine it's basic shapes because that's pointless. But it's got to be. They've always advertised having basically miniatures. They've been really kind of geared towards tabletop wargaming and tabletop miniatures. They've always had adverts that play within their Lyche Slicer showing all these different miniatures you can get from different people. So it sounds like they've got a library of these things. And so they want a video showing that library. And then they also wanted a video that showed the new multi-plate printing file that they wanted to put together. This is emulating what I've seen. This, I assume, I haven't used it yet, is emulating what I've seen with the bamboo slicer for the filament 3D printer, where within one project with multiple pieces, you start separating all these parts out, and they start spreading out over a couple of different build plates. And then you can export each build plate independently in order to be able to build it. I can see that as being a better working process, because if you're juggling a ton of parts for ecto goggles or a PKE meter or whatever, I'm no longer having to keep track in between, save this file, close, start new, which one did I need. And so you can lay them all out on these different plates, and you can swap them between the plates until you're dialed into all these parts go on this, all these parts need to be done in clear, all these parts, and then you can, send individual print files that you can then access from the machine, which is also pretty dang cool. So yeah, and we actually settled on a nice little piece of money. It's not a lot. It is incredibly low compared to what I was getting in 2018, but it's money. So great, yeah, sure. So we need to do some Lyche Slicer videos. Asol says, I have a resident shock Roman to fix mistakes. Yes! Oh God, having a shock Roman to fix my mistakes is so fantastic. Foxtrot Echo Papa. Is it Papa? Oh, it is Papa. Foxtrot Echo Papa. Thank you. I was never in the military, but I had to know that when I was installing DirecTV, because when we had to read serial numbers off, we had to use the Radio Phonetic alphabet, because it's the only effective way to do it. And there was a language barrier. The majority of the people who were doing the activation were overseas in any number of a different country where English is their second language. So we had to use this phonetic alphabet. And so I learned it there, and mostly remembered it until this morning. Jerry Can Cosplay is here. Hello, Jerry. Sweet. All right. I need to look at... Jerry, we were actually playing with Laser Death Machine yesterday. Where's that at? Didn't I bring that in here? Yeah, there it is. So I was telling Mariah that I wanted to get some stuff laser cut for doing the Proton Packs. And Mariah said, that's great. For setting up the Laser Death Machine, we got to do something. There's something that you said you'd do a long time ago. So I've started cutting out the parts for making Tommy guns, because I owe a Tommy gun. I promised a Tommy gun kit to my good friend Jerry Can Cosplay. And so... finally getting some parts cut out. Had to completely rework the files. I actually spent more time doing this than I did this. Because it's a whole new machine with a whole new power setting. I had to figure out what the new power settings were and everything else, which is okay. It was great fun. I needed to do that anyway. No, that's right. Yeah, so I've got the floor mat foam parts cut out. Started figuring out how I needed to cut out the 4mm foam, and then also started cutting out pistol kits for 1911 U.S. pistol. So yeah, Jerry, the kit is finally getting cut out. In fact, I've still got the laser set up. With hope I have enough energy after this to go outside and do some more. But we'll see if that happens. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to dismiss doing it. I've just already recognized that. I'm already pretty effing tired. Usually doing the streams makes me really tired. And I found out that I'm going to LA this week for a 3-day shoot. So I'm ready to have some quiet time, before I have to go and travel and be away from home for a few nights. But it's happening. And
it needs to happen a lot faster than it's been happening. But it's actually happening, Jerry. So that's the fun stuff. Oh, the other fun thing is I'm gonna have to build like, which again I should be able to do this using SVG files. I need to build an exploded view like model kit assembly, right? Because you can rewatch the video, which I would appreciate. But honestly, if it's a kit, you pretty much, even if it's just a one sheet like exploded view with how things go together, it should be enough to figure it out, I would imagine. And it's nearly symmetrical. But anyway, I'll make sure that all the parts, or almost all the parts, are put into the box. The one thing I'm not sure that I have is what I use for a barrel. When I did it for the video a long time ago, we used the metal pipe that was inside of a garden stake. So we went to a discount place that had these 6-foot green garden stakes. They're like green plastic, but you shave the plastic off, and it's got this really thin metal tube inside. That's what I ended up using as a barrel because I had it, and it was cheap and lightweight, and it was the right size. So there may be that one piece that you'll have to figure out. That maybe that one piece I'll have to tell you what the diameter is and what the length is, and then you'll have to find something that's going to be comparable in order to do that. But yeah, other than that, hey, getting one done, getting a couple done. Okay. Thank you, Boy Scouts. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Mr. Potato. Resident and working. Yeah, we are. Oh, Ralph is here. Hello, Ralph. Yay, can't wait. It's been a while. Yeah, it has, Jerry. It's been a few years. Sorry. I mean, years. Tips of the collaboration with other prop makers? No, Marvel Guy. Unfortunately, I'm in a weird position where prop makers reach out to me. I've tried setting up a collaboration with Evil Ted, and he's all for it, and then I fell off the face of the earth. So you just talk to him. That's all. You just talk to him. 5 more years to tell me, no, I don't want that to happen. Yeah, Chakram is right. You either reach out to the other people or you pay them. So it's only been 2 years for Jerry? Okay. I guess, yeah, it's the 3rd anniversary now, right? And another ad and froze again. I'm sorry, Ace. Smash that channeling, Schultz. Okay. I needed to... The big thing here is just having fun talking to you guys. I really hope the live streams aren't like boring because I just sort of talk to you guys a lot. Don't get crap done. That's not what I want. Oh yeah, I closed it, didn't I? Yes, I did. 8 tabs, new tab. I want Peter Venkman. GB2 pack. That's my search term. Prick link. That's not what I want, but close. There we are. Okay. There we go. Reference images of Peter's pack from Ghostbusters 2. Oh yeah, I gotta put that on. We'll wait for that too. We'll figure that out too. So it's just got posts, which they drilled holes, but anyway, don't drill holes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's here. So all I did yesterday was laser cut out some more small parts. What I've got is it's a couple layers of that foam. So this ends up being about 3/8 of an inch, which is going to be, it's like 8 millimeters, something like that. It's not a lot. But this board, the plan was to have it fit you can almost see that. Sorry, guys. So there's this piece of the... is there a better shot anywhere? So We got this metal bracket. You can't see it. We got this metal bracket that's on the Alice pack that has these pill-shaped cutouts in it. Obviously, it's meant for putting a shelf or any other sort of weight-bearing something on it. We're not using that part. So what I was trying to figure out is where this piece needed to go on the new wood motherboard, so we can just use the existing holes to just bolt to it. And so that, I'll just do that. Up here, I've got this cross member. This is the one that I believe Lewis and everyone else kept telling me to not drill through. And so the 3D printed thing was literally just like a bracket. It wasn't really a whole lot. That just held it in place. So these are just stacks of laser cut wood. It's literally, here, let me put black down on top. This is the burnt side. So it's literally a couple of these, right, that are just glued together, which makes them the same thickness as this piece down here. So this has got the same distance all the way up. And then I made like a washer piece that goes on the top. And these were cut square, so the circle is just in the center. I didn't have to worry about orientation. And I made it so all these pieces are 1 1/4 inches wide, which is how wide this bar here is. They're 1 1/4 inches. So it was just one of those, let's make everything the same. It'll make it easy and great and fine and dandy. And the plan for me now is I'm going to attach these wood pieces to the motherboard, and then this will just screw on over it like that and like that. So if this screws on over it, and then I run screws through here, then the Alice pack will be attached to this solid motherboard, and then we only have to worry about how to attach this solid motherboard to the pack. And that has a lot more options. There's a lot more things we can do, because now it's all over the place. We can go anywhere to add in pieces to make these two fit together. I mean, it can be a thumb screw, right, up here that just twists into a set nut, and then we wanted to put hinges down the side over here so the entire pack can just sort of open up. That was something that really caught Felicia's attention and she really wanted to do, so that's what we'll do. And then, yeah, so that was one of the things I wanted to try and figure out today, which pretty much kind of already did. Now I gotta mark where it goes. I'm gonna glue it down, even though I'm gluing it to the creature cast. This coating is, I just painted it with a sponge of the creature cast. Again, not really caring about the perfection of the finish. I wanted kind of a rough finish. This has got a rougher, streaker, foam painted finish, but it's black, so whatever. But that'll get these parts attached. And the other thing I needed to do today was get the other pack covered up with Rub and Buff. I can't remember the name of anything. I need to get the other pack covered up with Rub and Buff and make it all weathered. So the two are at the same stage. So next week during the public live stream, we can just pick up where we left off and keep going and try and get this stuff done for SAC Anime. It's looking like there's only 2 more live streams between now and SAC Anime, 2 more scheduled live streams between now and SAC Anime. And so I was a little worried about making sure that some of this stuff got done. Pardon me. Just trying to make this stuff work. Thank you, Dan, for trying to make it fun in the chat. Oh, good. Steve's got PC back from Stepson and just updated Among Us. That's awesome. Should be playing Among Us next week, hopefully. Thank you, Jerry. I understand we all have stuff to do in our lives that gets in the way. It's all good. Yeah, and Jerry, there were times that you and I had some very personal conversations, and you know some of the things that I was going through. Everyone knows I got divorced, but I mean, I had a few more very heart-to-heart talks with Jerry, and very much appreciate your friendship and your being there. So thank you, sir. Ralph says the interaction is the fun part for me. Yeah, it is. We love the live streams, Mr. Odin. Make sure you have the backpack on, right? Yeah, thank you, Shady. Schultz has done the music video project at last. Oh, that's awesome. Currently watching Happy Gilmore. Nice. Okay, so one of the things I want to worry about too a little bit, I just slapped these on and they are a non-measured distance away from the center bar. See, this one's closer than that one. I'd like them to be visually equal. So how do I want to measure that easily? Well, I could probably use a measuring tape. Neighbor's working on something. Can't be upset. I was, playing the laser printer and being loud last night. Okay, let's go with 4 centimeters. That sounds great. So we can go 4 centimeters from the centerpiece. It's just going to be able to fit. No! Moving everything just by trying to hold it and keep the train. Yeah, moved everything. Damn it. Too many things trying to control there. All right, starting over. Hey, I got an idea. Let's put the bottom one on first and worry about these later. Okay. Well, that's a little high, isn't it? Possibly. You guys enjoying the neighbors as much as I am? I really don't care. The neighbors are welcome to do what they want to do. The neighbors. I don't know if what they're working on. It doesn't matter. But being a sound guy doing video, I'm very aware of the noises. But I make a lot of noise too. So I'm really not trying to complain. I am complaining, but I'm really not trying to complain. Good, that didn't blow out so bad. Okay. That's fine. Now I'm holding my hand underneath it, but I'm trying to do the whole Vulcan thing, or I guess it's not Vulcan. I'm just, because I got an idea where I'm coming out from just by feel. Kids, don't drill into your hand. The short of it is, kids, don't drill into your hand. Okay, so I got that. Did I leave the wood glue in here, or did I take that into the house? kind of belong to the house, but what I want to do is I'm going to scratch up, tear up the coating here within my box. You can. So I got my pilot holes, and I drew a pencil line right where my support piece needs to go. Even that I've managed to misplace. Oh, here it is. I just can't see it. Right, so that's going to go there. This pass-through, which is 1/4 inch, goes through these, which will go through the pill-shaped boxes, so I can put a carriage bolt through all this to connect the two halves together. And pretty sure from measuring before that, pretty sure, I didn't double-check this, that the bumps to the heads of the carriage bolts on the inside are going to fall within the hole of the speech bubble that we put in the cyclotron. So what I want to do is scratch up and destroy the surface of the creature cast here within the pencil line box, because I want wood glue to be able to grip the wood underneath it and not just the creature cast, right? I don't want to just glue to the creature cast, and I mean, it's okay, I'm putting bolts through it, I could, I guess, but I don't want to. I don't want to assume that the strength of the creature cast glue bond is going to be sufficient, but honestly, it isn't really weight supporting, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm overthinking it because I'm good at that. That, I need this. And they'll do this again for the upper pieces. Oh wow, this got tightened on really tight. I need those. Here, I need more of the branded ones. Get the branded ones over here. Why am I not seeing? Oh, here we are. I did buy some. I thought I bought some. Forgot about these. I need these. What are those screws, Odin? Those are screws to replace some of the broken things for the grid wall that we use for the booth when I do cons. I'm amazed how hard it is to find the little wrench that you use to open up the... I'm amazed how hard it is for me to have a whole thought. Okay, pliers. Pliers will be fine. You're overthinking it, Odin. There we go. That's what I needed. There's a little special tool to do that. I was trying to find the special tool because, you know, you got special tools, so you may as well use them. Yeah, no, not going to happen. Instead, I'll just use pliers. There. All right. Perfect. Let's do this, because that'll make Rio be happy. Wrench number 9. Thank you! That's probably exactly what it is. Well, drilling holes into one hand is a very bad idea. It is. Battery pack versus jaw. Oh. Yeah, I do not recommend. No, I've hit my hand too. Check the cases hung on the pegboard. Thank you. Yeah, at least one of those is brand new. I was checking cases not hung on the pegboard. You know what else would have been smart? A dust mask! But anyway. Kind of sound like the electronic version of that old jibber jabber toy, that thing you just... I don't know. Let's see. What else remember playing with those at Toys R Us? It had like the Fraggle hair on top and had kind of a plastic gooseneck and had this weird noise that it would make. Anyway. You know what I don't have set up in here easy to get a hold of? Where did my vacuum go? Because I got those there. Alright. Okay, honestly, if I don't have carriage bolts, which I think I do, I might have some set over there in a bucket. Or I can check another box. If I don't have any, I'll end up having to get some. And that'll just become part of next week's stream. Not a big deal. I wanted to figure this out, so next week was more of just a get it done while Felicia was talking, I hope. Where's the glue? Well, there's my vacuum. It is out here. What I need is more crap around my feet. Okay. All right. That one's actually still liquid. Was looking for wood glue. I think I put that inside where it's safe, so we'll just use something that's going to set up faster. Honestly, this, like I was saying, this isn't... The glue itself isn't weight-bearing. Well, it's nice if I have to make the holes bigger, I can. I actually managed to line those up pretty okay. The smell the fumes. Oh, okay. Fair enough, Skibmeister87. Hello, Craig! Sounds like it says ouch. Yeah, kinda. Dustman could put people in handcuffs. Funny. Okay. What am I doing next? Oh, I'm looking for bolts. I'm hoping I can find some... Oh, hey, look, glue. Alright, I think it's on the kitchen table. Yep. Glue! There, we got some glue now. Literally a bucket of bolts. The thing sitting on top is the type of stuff that I used to hoard all the time, right? What's in the bucket? Well, mostly it's bolts, but it also has these really funky, weird, customized shapes that I cut out for a different project that I just don't need now. Right? This was the part that I didn't need. But it's like, oh, these could be like really funky droid parts or something. But honestly, and I got a bunch of them, so anything that's like repetitive is really cool. But the issue is, I own a laser death machine, and I can cut stuff like this out pretty much at will. So I don't need to save parts like this. Where's Jerry's box? There, they can go in there. Let him be creative with them. All right. Okay, I don't see in this particular bucket of bolts. Quarter 20, that's good. I'm not seeing specifically carriage bolts, but I've got other bolts. And I got plenty that are just way too freaking long. Well, this will get us through today. One of those. These are 1/4 inch, right? Yeah. See, nylock nuts, which I don't want. I want something I can easily do with my hands. There we go. Is that the same as the other one? No, the other one's a tad bit thicker, but whatever. Okay. And I spilled it. I'm putting bolts on. It's still kind of, this is sort of the best shot, except that the pack itself in the way. Come here. So these bolts are way too long, but it's be easy enough for me to get the right size for next week. So not worried. Okay, now what I want to do is I really want to have, just for me, my own like symmetry that I want to have happen. You know, this might be easier if I get rid of the close-up. Twice. the bottommost point is a flat point, and there's actually a bump on the cyclotron. I kind of want to have this flat point line up with the center strap of the Alice pack, because that just feels right to me. Because if I have to pick, like, where is it going to go, that's kind of like where I kind of want to pick it. So that's there-ish. So what I want to do now is, on the upper part, I've got these brackets that I want to fit in, and these are either centered off this. It's probably the best because this is a reference point, because the edges of the motherboard, this has got a cutout. It's kind of hard to see in that angle because the pack is once again in the way. See, it's got this cutout, and then this up here isn't a straight line, so this edge is not a straight line. So there's really no reference points to me for that. So what I was doing was trying to do, what did I say, 4 centimeters? Let's do that again. But I'll get a ruler instead of the tape measure and try and do this the less hard way. All right, that's 45 millimeter. Fine. What's this? That's amazingly close. And that's 45 millimeter. So these are within a millimeter or so of being equidistant from the edges of the center point, and by proxy the center point itself. But from the edge of the strap to the edge of this is 45 millimeter, 4.5 centimeter, and same on this side. From this edge to this edge is the same. Pencil. Did I lose my pencil already? Do I set it down on top of my pencil? Don't move it too much. There. Pencil. Now these holes I specifically made smaller than the holes down here, because the pill size holes in the Alice pack, the pill hole is pretty wide, but this I figured I'd have a smaller little nut and screw that I could put through it to hold it together. And I don't want to just drill it with a wood screw, because that'll tear it up every time you take it out and put it off. I'd rather put a bolt and a washer and a nut through it and hold it together through compression than to bite into the wood. If I was on set and need to get done quickly, I'd just bite into the wood, meaning, you know, using the threads of a wood screw to just screw into the plywood and get it going. So at that point, it's more important to get cameras rolling than be worried about this little piece of wood that I could effectively make another one of. You managed to tighten that one pretty good, Mr. Rabbit. Shorter bolts are going to be nicer. They'll happen eventually. Okay. Hey kids, guess what time it is? It's wibbly wobbly noisy time. Okay. You can fall out, that's fine. Probably should do is make notes for myself, because I'm not going to remember this crap next week. It was... And There, notes. So remember the measurements I decided on this time and how to do them fast without figuring it out all again next time. We got hearts. Huff Ruby of Strode. No, thanks, Mariah. Yes, accelerant smell stays in the nose forever. Yes, yes, it does. Jerry says, that's it. Give me your junk. Do I need to countersink the bolts as sandwiching between motherboards? Not a bad idea. Lightly occurred to me as a possibility. Do I want to countersink these things? To countersink something, you're actually digging into the material with a screw head that, instead of it being a big flat bolt, has got kind of a tapered edge. And that way, as the tapered edge bolt goes into this tapered hole, the two match up, and it ends up being very flat. What I'm counting on, and I might make myself disappointed, is for these holes and these holes to line up enough with the other motherboards, the big holes that are in the back of the pack, right? Because I got some access holes in the back of the pack, so I'm hoping those things line up. And if they don't, we're talking about putting a hinge between them, and that's going to introduce another 8mm or about, not 8mm, 1/8 of an inch or about 3mm of gap because of the way the hinge is. And so that should be sufficient enough as well for the heads of some thinner carriage bolts. Carriage bolts are those bolts that have a rounded mushroom head with a little square at the very top of the thread. So the idea is you push the whole thing through and into a square hole, but then on the outside there's like a really great security bolt because there's nothing to grip on the outside. But it ends up just being this smooth thing, and that's kind of what I envisioned using. We'll see if it happens. Sorry I'm not over talkative. I'm building a Red Arrows airplane Revell model. No, that's awesome, Gibmeister. I don't mind that at all. Will not slide... yes, okay, Ralph, good question. Will not slide side to side like this. It totally could. What I didn't want to do... I don't know why. I wanted to have my anchor points more spread apart. I didn't want them right up against the center. But on the bottom... I'm going to have enough tension that I don't think it's going to slide. Because down here, I'm actually gripping with washers and nuts, you know, whatever. Mechanically gripping down here. And I think this is going to be enough to keep it from sliding from side to side because it's not very heavy. And up here is just additional support because I can't just have the pack attached from the bottom. So I don't think it's going to slide from side to side. If I'm wrong, then yeah, we'll totally make another yoke piece that goes in here that locks it into this centerpiece. But I just didn't want to basically build a triangle. I don't know why. I'd rather have a square box attachment than this point, and pretty much this point. Look, I spit on it. Or it dripped off the lid. Goggles. Extra one horizontally would make it more stable. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I should do an extra one horizontally. Heck, why not just do that? Do I have enough parts for that? I was literally trying to keep it simple for whatever reason. And everyone seems concerned about it. All right. I have enough of the same parts, so I can use a third set here, and I just have to go out and cut 2 more sets for next week's pack. So not a big deal. Totally down for that. Didn't I bring the other one out? I got one that's more aggressive. All right. That. You chugged the glue out. Where'd you go with it? Come on. Could have shook that up more. Hey, Odin, get you a bit more glue on your project? Nah, all the glue should be fine. Especially if it slams butter side down on your frickin' cutting mat. Put these two together. Put this guy on. Drop the clamp. It's an important step. Make sure you drop the clamp. Lose the clamp in the dark. Don't feel like I got enough on there. I don't want to put too much on here. Just touch it. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Drying. Third one. Because it's a really good idea. Let's just get these attached. I know where I want these to go, and then we'll figure out where the other one can go. Hey, you know, it'd be a really good idea, a dust mask. Forgot to cut back, sorry. Okay. So this is here. Gonna want to drill. No, who cares about drilling pilot holes first? I got to drill them out anyway. I had to in this one. Just glue them on and then drill them. So what I do really want to do though is make sure that these two things are going to be in line with these two things. That's going to be important. So let's put some. I'll use some slower acting wood glue instead of the super glue, because I want to make sure I can wiggle both of these around. It also means I'll probably have to set this aside. You didn't shake it up more, Odin. You talked about it. That's an excessive amount, but that's kind of okay. I'll just plop this down. Okay, now what I want to do is make sure that these guys are still pretty much in line with each other and in line with these holes, because this is now a very specific where crap's got to go. So this has to be there-ish, and this has to be, well, visually I can see it's okay. And no, that's actually okay. It's almost like making marks with pencils good enough. Okay, so that's that, and that's that, and that's that, and that's that. Then I'm going to have these guys, once that one's dry. Oh, because I don't have it centered. I just flopped it down here. I do believe you guys are talking about doing something. Oh, that's actually really good. Like that, right? Putting in a horizontal one. This is what a couple of you were talking about. So to end up something like that, in order to help keep it from going side to side. And that can't go there because the metal here is taller, prouder, right? This doesn't sit flat, so this is actually going to have to go down to where the metal can flex, which I'm okay with that. Something replicatable. I'll have to remember. So, got my ruler. Which is providing a distance from these two clamps. And I can put this one flat up against it, right, which puts it into a position. And that has enough play with this piece of metal that keep my hands out of the shot. Then when you put this on and screw it down, it'll tighten everything up against the motherboard, which will put stress on it. So it's really not that good of an idea. Probably should move it down more. Okay, so not this ruler. I like the idea, but not that ruler. Let me go get a different longer ruler that also just happens to be 1.25 inches tall, so it's the same thickness as these guys. So is this, and okay, spotter, do need to go all the way down here. Keeping in mind that this is probably just bent too, but the wood isn't that thick, right? The wood I'm working with here, it's just this thick. It's, you know, 5 millimeter. So I don't want to have a whole bunch of spring tension from this metal against the wood. That doesn't sound like a good plan to me. That sounds like warping. Here's a great shot of my wrist. It sounds like warping and movement. So let's just do that. Okay, so let's put it there. Okay, so where is it going to go? It's going to go do that so you guys can see it. The same thickness below these, but then centered, or about centered, because this bar is thinner, right? This bar, can you see that? My piece of wood is wider than this bar, which is great, gives me play, but it's about there. No, all you see is my wrist again. Sorry. Hey, look, it's my wrist. Okay. So where's Bob? Keep saying Bob down there. He is. Bob. One more time. It's not, that wasn't the right spot. Is it still in the right spot? You touched it. Why did you touch it? Thing is, if I've got, I'll just have to set this stuff aside. Not a big deal. Don't touch it. Don't touch it! Figure out where your vacuum was. Not use it again. Put the lid on good. Here. The joy of using headphones right now. Sorry, Schultz Division. Hopefully I'm done with that tool at this point. Oh, cool. I did not know what red arrows were. Red arrows airplane. It's okay, cool. I did not know that, Gibmeister. Oh, that's good. See, your TV is smart. Everyone's talking about how much noise it is. Putting the void to bed. I'll be back. All right, Jerry. I'm going to hang this up, and I'll glue the last part on. I hope. Oh, that sat long enough. It's set up enough. If I try hard, I can break it, but I don't want to try hard. All right. Now I hung my ruler up. There we go. Yeah, it's really gooey. All right. I haven't been putting pressure on it. I'm going to need to set this aside and give it a chance to dry. May not be able to get back to it today. Probably can't. I'm going to want gloves. I'm going to want a chair. I'm going to sit down. And I'm going to play with some rub and buff and start weathering the other pack. This guy needs to go somewhere safe, like on top of the other laser. There we go. Not what I wanted to do. I put the vacuum tube through the chair. Okay. Ah, sitting Odin. Hair. Fly away, frizzy hair. You know what I didn't get? I didn't get something to put my, yeah. I didn't get a palette, you know, I didn't get a thing to put rub and buff onto that I can smear off of. Here's the one I used last time. That'll be perfect. Don't have the other pack in front of me, but from what I remember, it just needed to be minimal. Glasses are off. Come here. Yeah. Use a brush tub like I use for contacts with wood glue. Okay. Oh, sweet. I'm glad your shock Roman got the Elegoo documented. That's pretty cool. All right. The brush tub would be pretty cool. I think with wood glue, I would want something that's sealed better. The contact cement provides its own seal. Okay, so this is the Atco glue applicator tub thing. There we go, right there. And we're back to number 3. So this is the Atco glue applicator tub thing. This works really well for contact cement because contact cement seals itself. you end up getting this buildup of stuff on the edge of the at the top of the volcano. So the glue inside ends up being fairly sealed. It does a really good job of sealing it. It's still not perfect. The glue inside is still going to ever so slowly dry out over time. It just takes a really long time. So as long as you're working with it, it doesn't matter. My concern is that I wouldn't get as good of a rubberized seal or Korox seed. That is a little tiny Korox seed. Little tiny Korox seed. Shop Gremlin hit a ton of these all over the shop because I'm supposed to be working on a Zelda project. So if you see any lying around, there's one of 900. I'm concerned that wood glue wouldn't give me as good, because it's thinner. It wouldn't give me as good of a rubberized texture or rubberized seal as the contact cement does, which still isn't perfect. You see it's missing here. So I'd be really worried about filling this up with wood glue, not touching it for 2 months, and then coming back to a solid thing that doesn't open up anymore. Now, that is a realistic concern with this guy as well, but less so because this thickens up at a progressive rate, and I've gotten to where I just undo, and I call cycling the glue. It's where I will take the brush out, invert the container into one of my cans of contact cement, maybe add some more of the thinners to it, either xylene or naphtha, and then I can mix it up and put it back in, or I can take the old glue and add it to some new glue and mix it up, and it makes it all nice and happy and kind of runny again. And yeah, you can do that with wood glue and water, but it's not as solvent, I don't think. Once wood glue's set, I'm pretty sure it's pretty well set. It's not going to undo easily with water, I think. I'm not a wood glue expert. Shot Grumman says, I think I found another spool of that silk gold PLA, so I could make many, many more. I'm not against it. It's fun to act like it's a big problem. It's not. It's really not. Okay, 2 things I wanted to do with this pack. I need blue tape, because I don't want to get gold on stuff I don't want to get gold on. Blue tape and gloves. Perfect combo, Odin. You're thinking ahead, dude. And we're going to tape off the resistor. And then we'll throw a bunch of tape around the side. So what I'm doing is, the other one has that hexagon piece that we put on that represents the nut that holds this resistor onto the side of the grain tower. I'm just going to throw a bunch of tape around the foam one that we'd put on. That was the way that Chris did it for Lost Wax. And then we'll just paint the exposed foam with some gold leaf rub and buff, and it'll be good. And what's nice is this will have a week to dry. Oh, I should probably dig the other Neutrona wand out and do the end on that one too. All right, that's what the Q-tips got used up on. Do I have any more Q-tips out here? Cotton swabs. Dropping brand names. I'll have to run inside and grab some Q-tips, I think. Thank you. The motion light came on before you came out the door. Oh, you have a soul today. Yay! Put a motion light in the garage so when you open up the door, you know, it just turns on. Had one left over from being at the media center. There are times I can walk down the hallway because the motion light is in the garage 3 feet up and away from the door jamb. I can walk down the hallway and through the laundry room, the little mudroom laundry room between the garage and the hallway, that light will see me or my shadow or something and light up. Shop Gremlin can come all the way out into the garage and try to get something from directly underneath the light and it won't turn on because Shop Gremlin got no soul. Oh, I haven't opened this one before. Just a little bit. I don't even think I can get this on screen. Kinda. It's gonna, yeah, but I can't see it. Out of focus is all get out. Adjusting the camera. 'Cause I'm the only one here. So that's why I really wanted to tape it off because I'm going to paint it with a Q-tip, and there's nothing delicate, specific, or you know, what do you want to say? I got tape on top of what I want to do. Delicate, specific, or yeah, those types of words. There's another one in there about painting with a Q-tip. What the hell am I trying to say? What's the other? There we go, that's good. Just get the tape bent up underneath it, which I know you guys couldn't see, but I'm just trying to do. Hey, we're back. Oh, sweet! Congratulations, Steve D. Oh, you pushed it out of camera range so you could see it easier. Nobody cares how well you can see it, Odin. They only care about how well they can see it. There. Now the little ring is gold instead of foam, so it did done do the thing, flim flam, whatever. We'll zoom back out. Probably should have cut away first. now we're back to finger painting. Are you looking for the phrase "a pain in the ass details"? That's probably the phrase I'm looking for. All right, now it becomes this. Two. That's a little much. I am going probably a little overboard on the silver, but I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it's getting the edges to pop out on the black. Ah, now you got stuff on your glove and your ear itches. Nah. Bodies. Yeah. Okay. You gotta wonder, is there like a true secret technique to doing this? What I don't want to do is just put a big fingerprint smear on it, right? Because that'll just look like a big fingerprint smear on it. So what I'm really trying to do is get some on the glove, because I don't want to bother washing my hand, and then touching the glove to the edge. So I'm really only getting the very edge of it, without zooming in again. But here, is this a good spot? That's kind of fine. You know, so you end up with this type of thing where, okay, here's a fingerprint smudge that I'm not entirely thrilled with, but it's there now. And here's a fingerprint smudge with some edge that I like, right? So I got a little bit on my finger. It takes a while for rub 'em up to dry, and I'm just touching it. I'm trying to just touch it anyway. And this may have dried a bit. Let's go ahead and try again here. Get a little more loaded onto the glove and just touch. Yeah, it's not quite coming through. Hey, let's go to close-up and then it's all going to fail. Where are we at? We're here? Yeah, okay. So we go here. Because what I'm really trying to do is get the impression that, you know, the sides have been rubbed against something. The sides have, it's hard not to just do the whole thing, right? something else you don't want to do. You don't want to do all of it. But like at some point in time, something's gotten down here and nicked this and kind of chipped the paint away. And I don't mind it being really, really overly done, like almost Star Wars level, but it kind of shouldn't be Star Wars level at the same time. This is all I was trying to do last stream as well, is just, you know, really favorite corners. Is just pick things out and just, you know, all right, well, you know, there's a screw down here. I already know from experience that, you know, you can get screws messed up pretty badly. And then, yeah, just... So now I am dragging my finger across it, which is, of course, highlighting the entire length. So I'll just push a little harder here, so it's a little bigger there. Probably need to get some more on this. And rub and buff is, I've mentioned this in a couple of videos, but you don't want a lot. You know, it takes very little, right? And it goes a long way. This stuff, one of the reasons I want to put gloves on is so I don't have rub and buff all over the coffee mugs in the house. Don't rest your wrist in it. Come here. And anything that's conceivably metal can have these marks on it. And one of the things I was doing last week as well is I took a fine little screwdriver and I would just dip the tip. I know this is out of shot. I'd get a little bit on the tip of the screwdriver and then try to just make a line. Right, so this is almost more painting, and that didn't go on nearly as much as I wanted it to. And as an example, I'm not excited about that. But now something else I was trying to do to try and make like a bigger chip, kind of, still without making a huge chip. There's tons of other ways to do. Definitely go watch Sean Cash's Try to Finish Something videos. That guy loves this process and does the toothpaste method, where you're putting on a silver base coat first, and then you add toothpaste, and then put spray paint over the toothpaste, and then when you wash it off, you get the blistering of the finished paint coming away from the silver undercoat, and it gives a much more realistic weathering. I just don't want to do that. Oops. Oh, I got some on the... I got some on the cord, which is kind of okay. It's kind of not. I'd rather not, but... And then literally it's called rub and buff because it is a waxed-based pigment paint. And so if I was to do a large piece with this, if I was to do, you know, like on the package shows, a picture frame, you could paint the whole thing, get it kind of smooth and nice, let it sit for a minute, and then come back with a cloth, and you can literally buff it. And you're going to polish up the wax portion of it and get a very realistic chrome looking paint job on a wooden frame. Benin. No problem you being late. I'm glad you showed up. If I do another one of these, which I'm already thinking I'm going to do another one of these, it'll probably be much earlier in the day, which isn't going to be, later in the day, which isn't going to be a lot of, isn't going to be fair to all of my friends in Europe. But it's just the time frame that I'm going to have to work with. Because probably, if I do something like this again, I'll actually get out here and do this. Because I got, I'll have a couple people to maybe talk to or something. So you could do some scratch type stuff with a paintbrush as well. I just don't have the mineral spirits set up to clean my paintbrush. Odin got quiet. He must be trying to think about what he's doing. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Dan's right. Maybe design and 3D print some rub and buff tools to put them on the way I want to. That's not bad a thought. Yeah, I can't get any better in there. That's just going to be up here on this part. I can't get any better up there because it's just going to smear and do whatever it's going to do. Do I have anything to see over here? Not really. Kind of did that side. Cakey and flaky. Let's get some wetter stuff in here. Sorry, it's once again just a bunch of meaty paw. Just got my hand in the way, and that's all you see, but you know. Yeah, I got it in the tube again. Citadel does make a great set of dry brushes. Nah, Citadel's a lot of painting technique that came from painting Warhammer miniatures. Absolutely, Gibmeister. And Citadel's always been really good at having products and paints that are really useful. The whole when they started ink washing their figures, there was a little while there, especially in the 90s, when they would like really, that's really bad, overly ink wash their figures. And it wasn't a problem. It's just they ended up looking really candy-like. And I think they've gotten a little more away from that now. But there for a little while, that was, you know, really something that they did a lot of. From what I remember. And something of this size, I could use a lot of different things to do dry brushing with. I've done dry brushing with, you know, just those horsehair China chip brushes, or and I don't know what else to call them. You just get them in bulk, and all they say is made in China. You know, I just get the ones from come in like a half a paper box with cellophane over it. Also, you can get yeah, you can dry brush with a regular house paint paintbrush. That works too. Yeah, it's a comet. That's not a scratch. What part am I missing? Parts that are in the middle. I kind of went around the edge. Realistically, though, how much would there be in the middle? Not a whole lot, except for when pieces got banged up during the assembly process. And then there's the artistic expression of what this is, where it's just giving you know, it's why you dry brush a miniature. You're giving highlights to a spot so your eye can see it, and you can understand what you're looking at faster. You know, there's certainly an art to doing this to where it looks real, but I'm not as worried about that as just making it look cool. Alrighty, so there's that. Now, let's go get the other pack. They're probably about the same at this point. Today's is probably weathered a little heavier. No, not really. Oh, there's faces up here I didn't get to. Careful, you're bumping the tube. Yeah, I got in there, I got in there. Still got my spider web, that's good. Got that. Alright, packs! They both got little highlights all over them that aren't 100% like realistic, but are causing a weathered effect, which is fine with me. Great. So what I want to do now is the new motherboard pieces. I just want to rub around the edges of those. I don't care about the part that goes up against the pack, and I don't care about the side that's going to go against the human, or the flat side that goes against the Proton Pack. But the edges, I kind of want to have some silver on, so it isn't just pure clean black. Let's just set that down right there. Pick this guy up. Set this guy right over here. Where did I put my new stuff? Set one down so it could dry on the laser. There's the other one. I want to give the one... I dropped it. Caught on my pant leg. Short leg. Jorts leg. Whatever. They look good. Thank you, Ace. I've never used Rub and Buff. Oh, yeah. No, it's great. Michael's has it. It's an easy place to find it. So does other paint stores. Home Depot used to, but I don't think they do anymore because it's a little more of a art type of a thing and less of a, I think briefly there, like a lot of companies all of a sudden right before COVID started carrying a lot of art supply stuff, right? It was really cool. It's like, oh wow, I can get this here. Evil Ted was suddenly in Michael's and there was a cosplay section. And then COVID happened and then nobody bought that stuff because nobody could go anywhere. And all the retailers went, oh, this isn't as popular as we thought it was, and they got rid of it. It's like, thanks, guys. But Rub and Buff comes in a couple different colors, like 5 or 6. I've got Silver Leaf and Gold Leaf right now. These are the brightest. There's 2 other golds. There's like a rose gold and an antique bronze or antique gold. So, different levels of darkness. There used to be a cherry gold, which is really hard to get a hold of now, I think. And somebody was going to send me a box of that, but that fell through. And then with the silvers, there's the Silver Leaf, there's a pewter, and I think there's another silver in there, and there's a black chrome, so it is a metallic black, practically. And yeah, they all do the same thing. And what's cool is, once it dries, if you put it on a big area, you can buff it with a cotton cloth, and it'll shine, which is really, really cool. The hard thing is less is more, right? You want to do this. I probably overdid it, but I'm really going at the sides here and getting a lot on it. But you want to hint at it. You want to, kind of do, but at the same time, I'm replicating Hollywood. And the guys that do this, generally speaking, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody who actually does do this for a living, they're on a huge time crunch to get a bunch of stuff done really quickly. And so stuff is very quickly put together. And they learn how to apply stuff very quickly and get through the process, move on to the next thing. They can't sit here and fiddle and fingerprint like I like to, because I'm a hobbyist. They're not. Now, let's get the other one. See how well the glue is holding together. If I move you around, are you going to do stupid things? Oh, that glue seems to be set up. Good. All right. Now, it is wood glue. I don't... Debating on if I want to actually put bolts through it. Oh, I gotta... No, let's wait. I'm going to, even though it won't be as much for you right now, I'm going to wait until next week and give all this stuff a full week to dry. So less possibility of failure doing over from start, kind of a thing. It's not that much level of start, right? Like I don't have to cut it again, but I have to re-glue it because I'll pop the glue off because it's only on enough to hold itself in place and not actually have a bond. Does that make sense? I'm worried about the pieces popping off because it's wood glue. So... All right, for any of you who are in the Northern California area, anybody who's close to the Bay Area, which is about 2 people, but still, if any of you are thinking about it, next weekend, next Saturday is NovaCon. NovaCon's going to be happening in Brentwood, California. It's going to be happening in the Brentwood Park next to City Hall. And it is a Saturday-only con. It's going to run from 3 p.m. is the official starting time to 9 p.m. Setup is a little beforehand. It being a park, I don't exactly see how they can have a park closed for people wandering in early, but what do I know? I'm going to be there, and actually I need to do a social media post about how I'm going to be there, because that's part of why I'm supposed to be there, is I help promote the con. They've got a voice actor. They actually got somebody who's done stuff for One Piece and has done a lot of anime voices. DC somebody, can't remember his name, but if you look up novacon.com, you should be able to find that. Even I think it's only an Eventbrite site right now. But they have his name listed as the headliner for the show, which is pretty cool. That they that this con has got an anime voice actor, and a prolific one at that. If you look at his IMDb list, his list of what he's done as voice acting goes back for many years. So good on him and good on them. So that's that. So that's kind of cool that this. I kept seeing it as a little con. They're actually doing a con. It's just fun that it's outside. It's fun to me because it's different. I haven't done very many outdoor type cons like this. I've done the maker spaces that happen outside, but not an actual convention. So need to secure a pop-up. So I've got a bit of a shade for the last few hours, so I don't just get completely sunburnt. I thought I was going to be closer to the water. It's not, which is good because it's probably going to have a better windbreak. But yeah, so that should be a lot of fun. That's next week. And then the Sunday after that, so that'll be Saturday, August 2nd is NovaCon. Sunday, August 3rd is the next live stream with Felicia. Felicia's going to be here. We will be doing some of this all over again, but with everyone else more or less watching. If we don't get a whole lot done before it becomes public, which we might do, might talk a little bit about NovaCon. But yeah, let's catch up over here. Hey, no touchy! DC Douglas, thank you. Chris Noisi and Paul St. Peter. Thank you, DC Douglas. That's his name. Yeah, it's cool. Yes, Ralph Morick, Rub and Buff might be really cool for some effects on some of your metal castings. Absolutely. Dan's got some. So the thing with Rub and Buff, and I can't stress this enough, is a little bit goes a long way, and once you apply it, it's kind of permanent. There are ways of removing it, but usually the chemicals to remove Rub and Buff off of where you don't want it is going to take the base layer off with it. Because most of the stuff will take Rub and Buff off will dissolve spray paint. Also, Rub and Buff, it's a wax, so it's really hard to paint over. You can do it, but it's really hard to paint over. So it just becomes... I've played with paintbrushes. They work. They feel slower than finger painting. They are certainly more precise, and it keeps your fingers clean. I've watched William Shakespeare use Rub and Buff, and he goes at it with just his bare fingers and just all over everything. But I don't know how to get it off my fingers because soap and water doesn't do very well without using the chemicals that I really don't want to put on my skin. So I use the gloves and do some really delicate finger painting. Of course, that also means I will get prints on other parts of the gloves and end up with stuff where I don't want it. You just kind of have to work with it. I just want to warn you of that. Those are some of the pitfalls that I run into with the lovely Rub and Buff products. But absolutely, which one zoomed in right now? Over here. Absolutely, I'm totally happy with these. Been using them for a little while. I didn't use them much prior to me starting a YouTube channel, but I did a little bit. And yeah, way happy with these guys. And they're quick, and they've got probably some of the best, well, this isn't going to look very good. Some of the best metallic for being a paint. This is all my swirly finger painting stuff. And look at it blow out beautifully. So let's see if I take this and go get a paper towel. Hey, look, a dust mask on the floor. I could have used that. There. Hit the button too many times. You get a decent metal. I mean, yeah, there you are. How's that? You get a reflection. Is that working for you? How to do this without just blowing the camera out, right? So, and this was piles of it, right? You can see how it's lumpy. It's not perfect at all, but still, you get reflective chrome off of this because you're polishing a wax and pigment compound. It's probably just mica powder, wax, and petroleum oil, and that's Rub and Buff. That's probably all it is. But, you know, it works. I don't care. It's, $6 a tube, but chances are the tube is going to dry out before you use it all. So don't stress on what feels like a lot of money for a small tube. It's going to go a long ways. Ralph says, that looks rather impressive. Thank you. Dan's actually gives a nice reflection. With effort, way more effort than I put into it. Yeah, you can get some really good reflection shine on it. And because it is a wax pigment compound, it's flexible. So it will flex to some degree on foam, unlike the really cool high gloss spray paints that'll crack. It'll still have issues with super flex, right? You put it on something and go, yeah, well, it's going to stress because there's a lot going on at the top. But a little bit is not a big deal. If you guys remember, we used it a lot on the Wonder Woman bracers and things, and it works really well. So anyway, that's Rub and Buff just straight on plywood. It works great. When you see the package, because it comes on a blister card, you've got like antique frames on it because it's used for, doing the antiquing on frames, picture frames. But yeah, I've seen it used in models too. Some of the model scale model builders will use it for like car bumpers and things that need to be chromy and shinier than what you could get with the old Testors paints. But as time moved on, you're able to, because this goes back, this is me talking 25 years ago. At this point, you've got Alumilite, and I think that's what it's called, All-Clad. Alumilite's a resin. So All-Clad and All-Clad 2, which are a airbrush applique, and that is a much better way to do models because you get an even better chrome on a model kit. But All-Clad isn't flexible. Or specifically, the top coat for All-Clad isn't flexible. So what ends up happening, if you don't put the top coat on, which means the All-Clad can be flexible, it tarnishes, it picks up fingerprints. So some of the things that Joe had airbrushed years ago with All-Clad looks a bit dull now. But like some of the things that were airbrushed and then sealed with the All-Clad water sealer, that looks fine because it's the way things work. This is about all I really wanted to get done today. This is what I was expecting to get done today. I wanted to get the other pack weathered. I wanted to get this kind of figured out so it would go faster. And looking at the clock, it took me an hour to work through this. And you guys even suggested new things, so I got to go print more stuff or cut more stuff. But really, this is what I wanted to get done today. So I want to thank you all very much for hanging out with me. Oh, good. It's sold in the Netherlands. Yeah, I wonder if you could get an almost chrome-like finish with it. To some extent, it's going to take effort, but I bet you could. And somebody with more patience than me can probably do it. Let me be honest. I want to get it done. Yeah, it does tarnish, but the look is awesome. Yeah, they're as far as an affordable and publicly accessible chroming agent for whatever the hell it is you want to paint, All-Clad is probably the best. I think there's some Spasics and other airbrush chromes that are also really very good that might be better. I just haven't seen them. But to what I've seen, what I've played with, what I've read about, All-Clad and All-Clad 2 is just, that's the one. Now, what's better than that is what they painted the Mandalorian with. But that stuff's $400 a quart. So that is not accessible as a paint for individuals. That's ridiculous. How much is a quart? A quart is less than a liter. So, yeah, it's not accessible. So, yeah, but, it is out there. Schultz Division, sorry for my absence, been drawing cover images for Spotify. Nah, totally cool, Schultz, no problem. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. I have gotten to where I've gotten used to this format. I like this format, and it gets to be really hard to do regular videos because I don't have this type of format. So I was thinking maybe I need to come out here and do a regular video kind of like this, sort of like a Patreon only, Discord only, Odin Makes Raw, something like that, or not live, but it would always remain a Discord. Like this one I might make public. In fact, I probably will make this video public. But it could remain a Discord-only perk to do the, oh, hey, Odin's working on a Breath of the Wild prop, or he's working on one of the other things that's coming up, and I could have a little bit of interaction here, which really helps me now, but also try and get a video done. So I think I need to do that. Maybe we need to do that, a couple of times and get a video out a month. Wouldn't that be freaking cool? Everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate that this is Discord only. I really appreciate that I had two different mods tune in to do the mod thing with this, although I think you guys enjoy tuning in as well. I'm hopeful that the Discord members are all going to be polite enough that, you know, if we do more of this in the future, we don't have to have mods. The biggest issue with me doing an Odin Makes raw, Odin Makes, you know, unedited, that's probably a better term, uncensored, unedited, my only concern with doing that is that it's going to happen later in the evening, which is going to probably put the running time as inaccessible to most of my friends in Europe, because it's going to end up being 8 p.m., 9 p.m. here, you know, 7 p.m. when I get started. So say it's 7 p.m. here, and we move ahead 8 hours. That's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning, and that is not an accessible time for all of my friends in Europe. So it's something that you guys will probably get to see after the fact, but you know, for a couple people that are up that late, or a couple of people who are a little closer, you know, that might work out. And that's always been a big stopping for me, is that being in California, I'm at the butt end of the day cycle, and by the time I've gotten my daily stuff done and I'm ready to do something else, everyone else in the world is asleep. Anyway, thank you all very much for tuning in. I'm going to be back next week, this exact same time, this exact same channel, with Felicia, and we're going to continue working on the Proton Packs, trying to get them done so they can be taken to SAC Anime. I personally am not worried about getting all the other pieces put together, the jumpsuits and everything else. I'm happy with just the prop. But I think she may have plans and desire to get a little more than just the prop done. So we'll see. We might actually be able to become a terror dog in SAC Anime, and that might be kind of cool. Too hot for YouTube, yeah. Yay, sounds great, Mr. Odin. Thank you, Mariah. I like the setup. Good, thank you, Ace. Spastics, that's it. Spastics Mirror Chrome is great, but it's more for clear polycarbonate paint on. Right. Allclad will do it too, and Spastex, it's doing the metal visors, right? So you do a vacuform, and you get your vacuform plastic, and you spray the inside. At least with Allclad, you can kind of see through it, and you can probably kind of see through Spastex. And it's a way of getting like Master Chief visors done. No, I'm not in a position to do Master Chief armor. We talked about it in the past. It's like I look at it and go, yeah, no, that's not. That's more than I want to take on. But I was talking with Felicia just yesterday about, well, we're getting close on the Proton Packs. We've got wands. Do we want to do something not Ghostbuster after this? And we talked about it and had a couple of ideas. One of them is a little ambitious, but we're looking at and thinking about and planning on what we can do that isn't going to be just dragging out Ghostbusters for another 3 years. I like how I'm dragging out saying goodbye. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Honestly, I am still here and still making videos and still doing YouTube content because all of you specifically, you have all been the true hardcore fans that have been a cheerleader for me, that have been here to kind of keep my head above water and keep me going with getting this kind of content made. So thank you all, absolutely personally, for being here for this and being part of this and just being part of the Odin Makes Discord Patreon group. Thank you all very much. I will see you again soon. Drag me along with the next project. Oh, cool. Thanks, Don. Dan? Dan's getting volunteered. All right. End stream. So I'm going to have to go outside and cut some more wood.